Once again, it is high noon in Rock Hill, South Carolina. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. You're in tune to 710 Radio, iHeartRadio, Rosemary's World of Cannabis. I know y'all said, dang, she said she's going on break. But I had to bring y'all one more show before I take this hiatus. I got some doctor's appointments, and you know how it goes. It's that time of the year, getting ready to help the grandkids, get ready to go back to school. And we got a lot of things that's upcoming. We got an event that's coming up on the 21st, the 22nd and 23rd. We're going to tell you more about that. We got an event that's coming up on August 5th. Then we got an event that's coming up on August 13th. So you can understand why I'm going to take a hiatus for a while. We've had a great season and everything. We're going to get this public service announcements out the way. And then when we come back live, we're going to have Mr. Dan Eagle. Once again, if you ain't told somebody, you need to get on Facebook. You need to get on Twitter. You need to get on Instagram. Coach, put me in. I know you're listening. Good afternoon. We got to get it all done for you right after this.
Are you feeling like a shadow of yourself? Is your mood on its way down? You could be suffering from low THC, also known as cannabinoid deficiency, caused by 77 years of government interference via prohibition. Do you live in a medical cannabis state or the District of Columbia? Are you over the age of 18 and seeking non-toxic natural health, well-being, and peace of mind? Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. After 10,000 years of recorded human use and 77 years of failed prohibition on the world's most extensively tested plant, the results are in. Cannabis has no known lethal dose and is arguably the safest and most comprehensive therapeutic substance known to man. Cannabis remained in the United States pharmacopoeia until 1941, and cannabinoids are currently patented by the federal government as an anti-inflammatory U.S. patent 6630507. Human brains have cannabinoid receptors. Cannabinoids are lubricants in the human body. Due to prohibition, our bodies have been denied essential lubrication. Imagine never changing or adding to the oil in your car. The use of cannabis for low THC may cause immediate relief, including a general feeling of well-being, chronic smiling or laughing, feelings of euphoria, increased creativity or clarity, a greater appreciation for music and art, the desire to dance, increased feelings of inspiration, compassion or unity, a need for truth and justice, or you may wake feeling more well-rested than usual. It's undetermined to know exactly how many symptoms the use of cannabis may alleviate because of federal prohibition. There were dozens identified in the 1909 Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Handbook. Currently, over 80% of the population supports the right to use cannabis therapeutically, and 92% of its users have declared significant non-toxic relief. The most common side effects, which are usually mild to moderate and may fade or disappear completely over time, are dry mouth and drowsiness. Other more serious side effects can include growing and repairing brain cells and DNA or improve vision, may prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, glaucoma, nausea, and suicide, may provide relief from autism, asthma, anorexia, arthritis, AIDS, cancer, Crohn's, depression, epilepsy, fibromyalgia, gout, IBS, insomnia, MS, migraine, pain, Parkinson's, PTSD, and spasticity. Use caution while driving or doing other physical activities until you know how cannabis affects you. May cause paranoia or nervousness, specifically caused by real-life government intervention in your quest for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the USA. Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. Brought to you as a public service announcement by the People's Plant, a campaign of conscience.
And we're back. Doggone it. 3 minutes after the hour. And if you don't know who you tune in to, you're tuned in to 710 Radio, iHeartRadio, Rosemary's World of Cannabis. Y'all know if you hear the song, it's Blurred Lines. I got to hit a little blurred line information for y'all real quick before I bring the main man on, Mr. Dan Eagle. Now check this out. I don't know why y'all want to go ahead and threaten my girl like you did. You think I wasn't going to say something? You dead wrong. Whoever threatened Dawn with that outlandish post that you put on her phone, you were just dead wrong. And for her to speak life above you, that says she's a much better person than you. However, I understand what Dawn has been. I've had threats on my person as well. Let me tell you like this here, Dawn. Don't hate your haters. Don't hate your haters. Motivate them, girl, because they'll motivate you. That's why I still what I do right now. Matter of fact, on Facebook, I had the same thing that happened to me. A guy all in black. He was white. Everything black. He had no IP address or nothing else. He threatened to kill me, but you know what? I'm still here. I'm still doing what I'm doing. I love you for having the spirit that you have to speak life over him and to pray for that individual, because that's the best thing to do. You keep speaking life, girl, and we're going to be back with you soon on part 2 of Speak Life. Now that we got that disgusting mess out the way, some people just want to be messy because they can. Mr. Dan Eagle, you hear my dogs going on, so we're going to wait till they finish what they doing and keep on going with it. They are just acting a donkey right now. But we're going to go ahead and move on. All right then, without further delay, Mr. Dan Eagle.
Hey, Rosemary, thank you very much, and good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well, Dan. Hey, you've been quite busy since the last time we talked, and I mean, we talked a couple of shows, and now you're back again. But every time I talk to you, you keep some interesting things going. I was reading on Facebook just recently that you're teaching how to grow out in the area you're at. Would you like to talk about that a little bit, and for those people that's tuning in for the first time, let them know who you are as well?
Yeah, sure. My name's Dan Engel. I live in South Carolina, but I also live in California. And I work in the cannabis business here in California. And what we've done recently, I've always been dedicated to single mothers and veterans. I'm a vet. My mom was primarily a single mother. And so in South Carolina, you have to have grow experience in order to, if it ever becomes legal, you have to have grow experience in order to apply for a grow or anything else, right? So we have offered single mothers an opportunity to come to California and learn how to grow.
That's huge.
Now, yeah, we have our first one from South Carolina here now. We don't pay them. And you're responsible for getting out here and for your own lodging and stuff. But the person that's here now has been here for a couple of days, and she is loving life. I mean, really, I'm not kidding. She's loving life. She is really learning a lot. It's about the best free school you're going to find, and it's an opportunity for single mothers that they wouldn't have. Now, we don't take everybody because we don't have the ability to do that. We take 4 people at a time from different states, and we're right now at 2. So we'll find 2 more, and then when these 4 are done, we'll load up on 4 more.
Wow, Dan, I was a single mother before I got married, and that hit me to my heart when I heard that, and I'm glad we hooked up today and to find out about that. And I know the show is going to be shared and shared again, because there's a lot of single mothers out there in these areas and other areas that need that experience for them to be able to grow in whatever state it is. I think most states now are asking for grow experience. So for you to do something like that is outstanding.
No, and I appreciate that. But, my mother was, for all practical purposes, my mother was a single mother all my life. And I didn't even realize it until she died. That's how good she was at being a mother. And I just feel like it's my obligation, our obligation to do this, to help lift people. And so that's where we are.
Yeah, I understand that all too well, because like I said, I was a single mother before I got married, and I still to this day I do donate to different organizations just for that. So if you ever want any more press on that information like that, just come in at any time. Just say, hey Rose, I want to do da-da-da-da-da, and you got an open mic, man, because like I said, my mom was a single mom, and I understand it totally, so trust me.
Yep.
It hits home when you talk about mamas. I mean, I got that soft spot, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't nothing like mama.
Yep, I do. So that's that, what I wanted to talk about. But I wanted to talk about a couple other things today as well.
Okay.
Right? I wanted to talk a little bit about the South Carolina process, and also maybe some of the corruption in the process of the bill. Right. So we'll talk about a few of the legislators that are involved in that, and then at the end, we'll talk about Jeff Sessions.
Oh yeah, my favorite person.
And a program that I heard about out here, and that is Buds for Justice. And I'll talk about it more in depth later. But basically, what it is to get everybody that is a cannabis user to send 1 bud of a gram or less to Jeff Sessions on October 1st. And everybody's like wondering why you would do that. Well, if everybody in this nation sends him shake or bud or whatever of a gram or less,
right?
Well, marijuana by the DEA is considered a hazardous material.
where you going with this, but continue.
So you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I love it, man. I'm gonna tell you like this here. What I'm gonna do is after the show today, I'm gonna pre-record your voice, and I'm gonna make that a PSA, and I'm gonna run that PSA on the next show, which is gonna be August 1st. When I'm going to be back on speaker. I'm going to be doing some live Facebook remote stuff this weekend. But after then, I'm going incognito because I got to get ready for all this stuff that's coming up. And I can't do both. I've tried and I failed horribly. So I'm going to take the time out to get the doctor's appointments and all the other happy horsemen out the way so I can be back with y'all August 1st. But yes, I must make a PSA. That is going to be outstanding, man. Oh my goodness.
He wants it, he gets it, right? I thought the guys that thought this up were just brilliant.
I know they're brilliant, man. I'm gonna tell you like this here. I'm beaming just thinking about that. Just because me and you both know, I got a very good inkling considering not my background, but my husband's background when he was in the military of having to clear certain items. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to make this thing hot, man. We're going to blow this up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media. If it's a social media site dealing with cannabis, it's going to be on there. I'm going to see it there.
Yeah, now, as you know, October 1st is the first day of the new fiscal year.
Correct.
So they're going to spend a whole lot of money on mail that first day.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Oh my God. I mean, if people only knew the paperwork alone behind this.
Yes. I mean, there are some things we have to talk about before everyone starts spending this stuff.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we gonna have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to set a roadmap out on this, and I think we might have to. Yeah. We might have to sit down and do this on the couch, a YouTube type scenario on that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. But so we'll talk about that a little bit more because I really want to get into Jeff Sessions as well. But first, let's talk a little bit about South Carolina.
All righty.
So when I first moved to South Carolina a couple years ago, the bill was getting ready to go through. I was getting ready to be voted on in, I think it was 2016.
Yep.
And it got voted down.
Correct.
One of the guys that voted on it is no longer a senator. His name is Senator Mike Baer. He's a good man. But there were rumors that he had early onset dementia.
Ooh.
And if you watch him on TV, you would say it's probably true.
Yeah, coming to think about what you're talking about and seeing the individual personally, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so his seat was won by William Tennant, even though Senator Fair was recommended not to run again. Now, my point of this is that Senator Fair is a good man, all right? I don't want anyone to say anything different about him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good man and he was sick. Now, what happened is they let him, all the other senators, let him vote on the cannabis bill, even though they knew he was sick. Everybody knew. I have talked to 3 or 4 senators, and they said, well, let's not talk about that. Well, how do you have a guy that has early onset dementia, regardless of what the vote was? The vote could have been 37-1 again. It doesn't matter what the vote is, it's the procedure.
Correct. Because he was not in state of mind to be on voting on anything at this point. I'm sorry.
Right. And for you to know as a senator that this guy has early onset dementia, and for you to just go, it's okay, and let him vote, I find that unconscionable, right? And so when I said that to some of the other senators that I talked to, they were all saying the same thing. Oh, just let it go. His vote didn't change anything. Well, you know what? For the kind of did, because that was a violation of procedure.
Exactly.
So that kind of set me. I'm going to move on now, and I just wanted to say one more thing. Senator Fair was an honest and kind man.
Right.
He was sick, so this is not about him. All right?
No.
He was sick. So then we moved to someone from Mike Fair after I got done looking at the Senate and looking at why the bill wouldn't pass, why it couldn't pass. Yeah, because it seemed like a no-brainer. And so I examined Fair, and then once I saw what was going on with Fair, then I started looking in depth at all the other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we beat this guy up pretty good last time. But Kevin Johnson is another guy, that is right along there. He's a professional politician.
Exactly.
And he has not said which side of the fence he's on, which amazes me about all of these senators, because no one will declare which side of the fence they're on. No one. And to me, that's the ultimate cowardice.
Exactly. Either you for or against. I can respect you more if you be straight with me on it.
Mm-hmm. But all I hear is like, well, we don't want to get out in front of it. We want to see how it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Timmons, who took Mike Fair's spot, he supported decriminalization.
Right.
You don't hear anything from him when it comes to this bill.
Not a peep. So I think he's been silenced, if you ask me.
Yeah, and so that's what bothers me, is that none of these guys have the intestinal fortitude to state their position. It's tough. But let's get back to Kevin Johnson.
All right.
And I'm just going to say this to the black folks in District 36, in Clarence and Dartmouth and Florence and Sumter counties. If you guys don't know it yet, this person does not have your best interest at heart. He does not. I talked to him face to face in front of the Senate. I talked to him about, out of every 1,000 marijuana users arrested in South Carolina, 700 of them are black, despite the use rate being the same. He challenged me on it. This guy is not on your side. If you want to keep going to jail, keep supporting Kevin Johnson. That's about the best I can say for that guy.
You said a mouthful there, and you're absolutely correct, because I've been dealing with Kevin Johnson for some years now, and his attitude this whole while, seemed like it was trying to change, and then all of a sudden it went severe left. And with these last comments he said on this last session, I'm gonna make it my business personally to bring it to his attention, and I plan to have you and others and camera on board when I do so, and I'm gonna play back the tape on that information, and I think you want to be there for that. And what I'm speaking about is he challenged the African Americans, talking about where they were at. I had just had surgery. If I hadn't had surgery, I'd have been there. So I took that personally. So I'm gonna hand it to him just the way he gave it out. He gave it out on camera. I'm giving it back on camera. So stay tuned for that.
No, you need to, because he's not a fair man.
And I'm not. I was always taught, you play how you play. So you want to play like that? Let's play. And I'm gonna win.
So let's move on to another senator that I like.
All right, come on.
Senator Sandy Senn, S-E-N-N.
Mm-hmm.
She represents Charleston and Dorchester County. Now, what's interesting about her is she doesn't even live in the district she represents.
That's illegal.
Yeah, she's a carpetbagger. She got an apartment in the district.
Holy crap!
She lives somewhere else, but she got a apartment in the district. Now, that's not even the best one yet. That's not the best one. Sandy Senn got elected senator, and do you know who her number one? And she's an attorney. for her own law firm. Now, do you know who her most valuable client is?
Who?
The South Carolina Sheriff's Association.
Oh my God.
Now, she has said specifically, quoted, that she will not vote against any SLED or South Carolina Sheriff's initiative.
Well, she needs to exclude herself from all business dealing with that, because that's double jeopardy right there.
Well, what it is, it's not double jeopardy. It is a conflict of interest.
And that's what I meant to say. Thank you. Conflict of interest. Thank you.
Yeah, no, my wife is an attorney and a judge. And any attorney or any judge that would be involved in something like this would recuse himself immediately.
Exactly.
But not in South Carolina.
Wow.
So what I'm asking your listeners to do is to write to Sandy Senn and ensure she recuses herself from any decisions relating to medical marijuana. Because she can't be objective.
Yeah.
The same people that are illegally sending sheriffs and deputies on public funds to go lobby against medical marijuana is paying her, the senator.
Wow.
Now, yeah, and she moved into that district in order to gain an additional seat against the medical marijuana initiative.
Holy crap. That is craziness. But you know what? I know it's probably true. People don't know.
It's a fact.
Yeah. People don't know how far people will go just to stop this bill, and it's getting serious. So that lets me know they think this bill is going to pass if they're going to these links as of now.
Yeah. What's even crazier is the good senator has been known to tip a few every now and then, like a lot.
Ooh.
So my question is, if she's listening, which she's not probably, is if you like to tip them all the time, come to California and I'll educate you. And you won't have a drink ever. But I doubt she'll take that up because she makes so much money from the Sheriff's Association and other law enforcement folks that she will never, ever vote her conscience. She'll vote her pocketbook.
Yeah, I got some friends that'll be kind of interested in this show. As soon as this show ends, I'm gonna personally hit a few friends of ours here in the Carolina area. I'm quite sure they'd be, especially in Columbia, I'm quite sure they'd be interested in all this. Because that is mind blowing.
I know it's a fact though. And you know what's crazy is someone that is so arrogant that they would make that statement that they're going to vote for SLED and the South Carolina Sheriff's Association.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go ahead and see.
Obviously.
Let's go ahead and bring that bush to light and burn it down because that's not right.
No, she obviously thinks that she's untouchable. Now, the thing that I find interesting about all of these people that are senators in South Carolina, it's like a $12,000 a year job. Why, as an attorney, would you take a $12,000 a year job? Why? Why would Hugh Leatherman have a $12,000 a year job? I wouldn't even wake up for $12,000 in 1 month.
We both know the answer to that. And this what's even worse. During one of the sessions that I was there, they was personally bitching about they don't make that much money.
Well, they don't make that much money, so there's got to be a reason that they're taking these jobs. Like, if you look at professional politicians, let's just look at Kevin Johnson, right?
Right.
There's no way he can support his family on $14,000 a
No, it's not.
There's got to be something else there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Alexander, he's a really nice guy. He really is. Senator Alexander, nice guy.
Right.
He has a retail store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Small retail store, and he's clean as light. You know, there's nothing wrong with Senator Alexander. But the point being is, he has a little retail store and he goes to work in the legislature. Some of these other folks go to work hoping to do other things, right?
Right.
And when you're attorneys and you're giving up big bucks just to be a senator from South Carolina, there's another agenda there.
Yep.
There's another agenda.
Yep. It's always. I'm gonna tell you like this here. Something I've learned since I've been dealing with politics the last 2 years here in South Carolina, dealing with the other side with the Democratic Party. I've learned it's so much money flies between A, B, and C and D. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money in politics. Okay, it's a lot of money.
I'm about to show you that here in a minute when we talk about the Medical Affairs Committee. Okay, so let's move to the Medical Affairs Committee and its chairman.
Okay, you might want to break down for some people don't know what the medical care board and committee is about.
Right. Okay. In South Carolina, the Medical Affairs Committee is made up of senators, and in order for the bill to hit the floor to be voted on, the Senate Medical Affairs Committee has to approve it and recommend the vote. The last year is what we were just talking about, where Senator Fair voted, and it was voted down by the Medical Committee. So the Medical Committee was quite good at stalling throughout this entire year. They didn't have one single action item the entire year, other than meeting people. And so they were able to delay the vote until next year. No vote from the Medical Affairs Committee, no vote on the floor. The head of the Medical Affairs Committee is Senator Harvey S. Peeler Jr. And Senator Peeler is a dairyman and a Shriner, and as some people say, a veteran. Now, just to show you how much he pays attention, I have just a second. I have a Senate Medical Affairs Committee summary report on the Department of Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Services, dated February 2017. Now, in this report, it goes over funding, and that's what it's talking about, is where the money went. Right? Now, remember, Mr. Peeler is the head of the Medical Committee, right?
Right.
So I'm going to read what they say about allocation of funds.
Okay.
The leadership was unable to define the methodology for the allocation of the SAMHSA federal block grant. They explained that the primary determination for allocating funds was historical. However, they were unaware of the specific methodology used to determine the past allocation. We're talking about millions of dollars.
Yes, we are.
So then the overriding agency came back and said that they should develop a written plan which phases in a transition to allocate funds based upon objective relevant data related to the target population. Now, what that means is, and once you take it out of bureaucratic speak, is we've been paying a ton of people for years. We have no idea where the money's going, and we don't really care. We're just spending it.
That's right.
And then the agency came back and said, because you know and I know, unless it's a going to jail kind of thing, they write things very nicely. And when they say they should develop a written plan which phases in a transition to allocate funds, they're telling them look, you need to figure this out right now.
Right.
So the point being is, the chairman signed this report.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't hear about things like this.
Nope.
The millions of dollars going missing, right? We don't hear about the things like Chairman Peeler saying, get together with my law enforcement guys, convince them first. You know, we don't hear things like that. We don't hear things of like Chairman Peeler trying to get into a fist fight with a vet.
Wow. Say what?
Yeah, he tried to start a fist fight with a veteran last year.
Okay, I heard rumors about this, but I didn't think it was real.
It was real. He, the veteran challenged his opinion on medical marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And the senator became very angry and started to challenge the vet. And two other senators had to grab him and pull him back while he was yelling, "Don't you know who I am? I'm Harvey Peeler."
Wow. Woo, that's deep.
He's the same Harvey Peeler that sent Vietnam in Louisiana.
Tell you like this here. He gonna mess around. I'm gonna be honest with you. He gonna mess around with some of these vets, and they gonna show him what real combat is about.
Yeah, true. But the other part of this is that Harvey's also loaded. Or excuse me, I don't know him. Senator Peeler has also been able to load up the medical community. If you look at the medical committee over the last 3 years, you know, people have come and gone. But the only people that really stayed is like Tom Davis, Alexander, and a few other folks.
Right.
There have been people moving in and out of there. It's time for somebody else to be the committee lead.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, someone with an open mind, because we know that Peeler's goal is to kill it.
Oh yeah, he done pretty much outlined that. You know, because he sees though what he said. How did he put that? He's waiting to see what the government's gonna do.
Yeah, you can't wait. You either lead or follow. One or two.
And that's his main word. We gonna see what the government gonna do. I mean, the government done moved on. Matter of fact, I was listening to today, and I know this is jumping off the subject a little bit. I understand now they're growing synthetic marijuana. Actually growing it.
It's really ugly because it's not good.
Why in the world would you grow synthetic marijuana? K2 wasn't enough for you?
No, they're not growing synthetic marijuana. They're making it.
Ugh, regardless. I don't want no part of it because it's not the real thing.
Nobody does. You know, it's like this. I'll do this very quick, and then we'll get back. The government, and, well, let me just say this, several people in the government have a huge stake in keeping marijuana illegal. You know, I told you on the last show, the DEA only interdicts about 97%, or excuse me, 3% of all drugs that come to the United States. They interdict 3%.
Right.
They're 97% ineffective. Of that 3%, about 80 to 85% of it is marijuana. If you make marijuana legal, there's no further reason for the DEA, because they can't find the large amounts of drugs, large amounts of heroin and meth and other things at DCs. They can find marijuana.
Right.
That's one thing. DEA goes away. And then all the private prisons go away. Right. And all the black men that are going to jail can really vote now.
Yep.
You know, all of those things happen once marijuana is legal. Now, the other thing that happens too, that no one's talking about, is if it's legalized here in the States, no one's going to buy Mexican cannabis because it's terrible.
Exactly.
It will reduce the drug imports from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
The cartels will lose money. They'll become less powerful. But it's the money that is generated here in the States that these people are not willing to let go of.
That's it. The search and seizures from them taking people's property, just going in and taking it. The money itself, I mean, it's too lucrative for them to want to let go, and they're fighting hard to keep it. And people need to wake up and realize that.
Well, and the people that are fighting hard to keep it have the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been working in the government, their government agencies, they're contractors, they're all of that stuff, right?
Yep. But what the thing is, the plus side is, that money that they'll be losing, the cities and states that's legalizing it for medical and recreational use gain it on taxes, revenue, jobs, growth for the community. So, that's the message that they don't want people to hear.
No, and like for instance, South Carolina has one of the largest prison populations per capita.
Yep.
Just about, it's not the leader, but it's in the top 10. And the thing is that if you legalize medical marijuana, the people that own those private prisons lose money. So they lobby with lots and lots of money.
Yep, because they'll be losing that government subsidies that people fail to realize the government do subsidize prisons. And that's big money.
Yeah. No,
Plus the fact that, I'm going to put this out here real quick too, a lot of people don't know, is this. Besides losing the government money, they're going to lose the money they make off the prisoners as well. Because if you don't have people putting money on your books for the little extra things that we take for granted every day, such things as soap, deodorant, toothpaste, so on and so forth, that's not given to you. You have to buy that in the prison. So it's a big market system there, and it gets even deeper than that, but I'll bring that up on another show.
Okay. So let's go back to the senators, because there's another senator that I want people to know about.
All right.
And that is Senator Tom Corbin. Tom Corbin's from District 5, Greenville and Spartanburg counties.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just want to say that this is a guy that said to a female senator that she was a lesser piece of meat because she wasn't a man.
That's just wrong.
It is just wrong. And he had slammed women at every single chance. And, I would have to say there's probably some racism in there as well, but I've never heard it out loud. But, people in Greenville, if you're looking for this guy to support you for medical marijuana, he's not going to. He's there. He's a businessman to make money.
And see, he's not too good of a businessman, because if he did, he'd jump on board. So that lets us know he can't be too good in business.
Yeah, but what kind of person, a senator, says you're a lesser piece of meat and remains a senator? I've never heard that anywhere.
Well, I hate to be blunt, and thank goodness I have the experts on this show where let know when we do say graphic things. Unfortunately, we have a president of the United States, 45 is a pussy grabber, so it is what it is.
I just want to talk about our guy right now, the guy that we should talk about.
I know, but I'm just saying, things that we wouldn't think normally would be normal is now the new normal, and still unacceptable as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right about that.
That's just not right.
This guy is not a friend of ours.
No.
And so people should be writing him. People in the community that are concerned, you should be writing him and finding out what's going on. we need to get these guys to stand up and say, yes, I'm for it, or no, I'm not. This nonsense of, well, I'm waiting to see, is total and absolute bullshit.
Yes.
You're either for us or you're against us. And I will just say this. To Jill Swing and to Cannabis Forward folks, you know, Jill Swing at South Carolina, you guys need to start getting people to stand up and be counted, or we'll never get this across. All right, so just Corbin and Peeler today, and then who would? Oh, I do have to say something about Peeler one more time, just to get back to it. I will say that he has spent more time on the Confederate flag.
I was just about to bring that up.
Trying to keep it legal than he has trying to save Beth's lives, trying to save the lives of children, and to help kids with epilepsy and other things that could use medical marijuana.
That's why I can't wait till we go back in the session, because I would personally like to talk to him, because I see something seriously wrong with that. I've talked about this on the show before, about the flag and how it plays such a role here. We have people dying here every day that need cannabis, but they're arguing about a damn flag, and it's just totally disgusting.
I've gone back and looked at his record, and he literally has spent more time on the Confederate flag than he has the Medical Marijuana Committee.
I believe it. It's just disgusting, and that's things that I'm gonna tell you like this here. I'm gonna change the title of this show as soon as this show is over with, if it let me. If not, I'm still gonna do a big write-up on this show, because if you live here in the state of South Carolina and you didn't listen to this show, you need to hear the replay of this show, because this is a lot of information that's being put out here that needs to be known, regardless if you use cannabis or not. I mean, I'm literally getting sick to the stomach just hearing some of the disgusting things that is going on in Colombia right now. I'm being dead honest about that.
No, it's I could go on, but with other people on the committee. I've done a lot of research, really.
Yeah, sound like you've been very busy, and like I said, if you want to go round two with it, like I said, we're coming up to election year, and if nobody's perfect. Let's say it first and foremost. We're not judging nobody. We're just putting the facts out there for you, the listener, to make a sound decision about the people you put back in office this fall, especially if you're in the cannabis community. If you want this bill to pass, it's some people that definitely don't need to come back, and some of them have already been mentioned on this show.
Yep. So before I get into Jeff Sessions, because I know I got about 5 or 10 more minutes, I want to say one more thing about Senator Senn. Senator Senn represents every single thing that is wrong with South Carolina politics.
Ooh.
She was paid for, and now she's in her seat. Is it her fault? It's nice. I want to be a senator. Everybody wants to be a senator at some point in time, but not a South Carolina state senator. The bottom line is, she's bought and paid for by the law enforcement. That was her role, is to go there and support the law enforcement industry, regardless of what the residents want. Regardless. She's going to vote for law enforcement. She has said that repeatedly. It goes right down to her bottom line for her law firm. It's illegal. You cannot say and do those things. And to me, it's just crazy. And so I would ask that whoever lives in that area, black, white, green, or red, go to her offices and talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like
Change
it's a
your
lot of
mind.
people need to start going to these offices and talking to a lot of their legislatures because they're not representing them at all. I mean,
No, she got bought.
yeah, bought and paid
I
for.
mean, that's my opinion. That's my opinion, right?
Well, I mean,
But if you,
the dollars and
if you
cents
look
add
at
up.
it, she carpetbagged in there. She ran against a resident. She was better financed. You know, all of that stuff. And so, you know, obviously, normally the people with the most money win.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, for the people down in the Charleston area, some of you might love her. For the people that are in the upper 15% or 10% of Charleston's income, but the rest of you cannot, because she's not representing you. You guys need to go to her office. You need to send her a letter. You need to find out where she stands publicly.
That should be easy to do. And I think I got some friends down there in Columbia area that would be happy to do that. So yeah, like I said, this show is gonna get passed on to some hands. You understand me? Because
Yes, I do.
yeah, because this needs to come out. I mean, I mean, even though it's not a lot of money they get paid to do a job, it's just the point is when they joined and took that oath of office, they stated that they would represent the people of South Carolina. And from what I'm hearing so
Right.
far, ain't no representation whatsoever.
Well, I think, and I can tend to overstate sometimes, but my belief is that if you know, looking at it from my perspective, let's just say hypothetically, I make $200,000 a year, right, as an attorney in Charleston. And then I take a job that requires 6 months out of the year, and I only get paid $10,000 or $12,000 for it. Why would I do that?
Point taken. If they didn't
Why would
catch
I do
that,
that?
if they didn't catch the math, they will shortly. Some of them, it might take a moment, but point taken. Math is not mathematically sound whatsoever.
And that's for all of them.
Right?
And for those of you that haven't been to the Capitol, the minute they walk off the floor, they're accosted by lobbyists everywhere. And
Exactly.
they're all good old boys. They know each other.
They're so accosted to the point that you can't even get an appointment with your own person in your area.
I know.
They're constantly booked up.
When you think about a successful person taking a job for $10,000 a year, or you think about Kevin Johnson taking a job for $10,000 a year and still being able to live, there's something there.
Yeah, if you pay attention to some of the things I pay attention to, the next time you riding around in the area, especially in Rock Hill, look at some of the tags and the cars these people driving. Notice we saying they're making $10,000 a year, okay, off of our taxpayer dollars. But notice the cars that they're driving, okay, folks? I'm just saying. Because a lot of them live in this district or coming through this district going to different areas. Let's say it like this here. I know darn well I can't afford a car like a Mercedes-Benz or Audi or a BMW off $10,000 a year. Can you?
Nope.
Okay then. I'm just saying. I'm saying from what I've seen with my own two eyes.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about Buds for Justice and Jeff Sessions.
All right.
All right, just for the readers to tell you a little bit about Jeff Sessions. All right, Jeff Sessions. This is the thing that cracks me up about him, because every time I see him, I think about the Napoleon complex.
Exactly.
Jeff Sessions is 5 feet 4 inches tall. That's it. So when I think about him running around with a red face, stamping his foot, I can see that. Now, the thing about Sessions is this cracks me up even more, because this goes to his background, right?
Right.
His middle name is Beauregard. Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III.
Ugh.
His dad owned a country store when he was growing up. Now, Sessions has either been, well, he's just a professional politician his whole life.
Right.
But he's worth $7.5 million. So I was in the military for 24 years. I couldn't make $7.5 million. So if he was in the public, if he was working for the public, I don't know how he did it. But anyway, Sessions, is very, very, very black and white, and I mean that literally.
Exactly.
He's been accused of racism from the get-go, and I believe every bit of it. He thinks that good people don't smoke cannabis. He has some of the most bizarre ideas that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Really.
Yeah.
And then he wants to put more people in jail for using cannabis. And you know why he wants to do that?
Oh yeah, I do.
It's all he knows. See, he's not there to really lead people or lead the nation. He just knows when he was in Alabama and he put people where people clapped.
Mm-hmm.
So now 67% of the United States says marijuana should be legal.
Right.
He's ignoring that. He's ignoring that. It's like, I know better. Well, he doesn't know better. He doesn't know better. And just because he's the Attorney General doesn't mean he can let it. This is a politician that's doing his entire freaking life. Right?
Right.
And so, then he comes to us. I guarantee you he's never been on drug interdiction missions like I have and other people. Because everybody knows that does real drug interdiction. You can't stop the flow of drugs by arresting users.
Nope.
You can't. The only way you stop it is kill it at the source. That's it. Otherwise, you just have to have some strategy to mitigate it. So, and we've seen that arresting people for cannabis or other things, it doesn't slow anything down. Nothing. We have some of the stiffer penalties for heroin users, and the addiction rate is actually higher today than it was 10 years ago. So we know that. But see, Jeff is friends with guys that have private prisons and a bunch of other things. If you go back and look at who donated to some of his campaigns, so he has a lot of people. So what I thought should happen is, I heard of an idea out here in California that some people are kicking around and doing, and that is to show Jeff that we're good people. People that use cannabis are good people. And so I'm going to give you a second, and first I'm going to give you an address. Everybody that's listening, I'll give you an address, and then I'll tell you why you get the address. The address is Jeff Sessions, U.S. Department of Justice, 950 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest. Washington, D.C., 20530-0001. So that's 3 zeros and a 1.
Right.
I'll read it again. Jeff Sessions, U.S. Department of Justice, 950 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest. Washington, D.C., 20530-0001. Now, the reason I gave that to you is I heard about a bunch of people out here in California that on October 1st, which is the new government fiscal year,
mm-hmm.
that they are all sending the Attorney General a gram of cannabis in the mail. Now, I'm quoting what they had told me,
mm-hmm.
and this is how to send it. Happy Cannabis Day, put the bud in there and seal it up and use a different return address, but use a real one, but a different one other than yourself, and mail it in the mailbox. So again, rubber gloves, put the gram or less of cannabis in the envelope. Happy Cannabis Day, different return address, and mail it off to Attorney General Sessions. Now, the reason they're doing that is because cannabis is deemed a hazardous material by DEA. So for every envelope that arrives there with cannabis, they're going to have a hazmat fee. So for those of you that understand that, it's going to cost people a ton, millions of dollars. Millions. So I'm sure Rosemary will have more on it.
Oh, yes.
But it's October 1st, start of the fiscal year, and it's Have a Great Cannabis Day.
Mm.
It's called Buds for Justice. Buds for Justice.
Exactly. Now, on that note, guys, we're going to have Dan again back on the show right before Buds Justice kicked off. And I'm quite sure he's going to have some updates on some other stuff as well. Hey, Dan, thank you for coming back again and doing a great show as you always do, man. Wow, you knock it out the park every single solitary time. And like I said, you always have an open mic with me. Anytime you want to, give a shout out or whatever, or say something that's important to us to know in the cannabis community, you always got a seat at my table, okay?
Thank you, Rosemary. You are wonderful. And you guys have a great day, everybody out there. Remember, Buds for Justice.
All
you
right,
want to do something? You want to fight back? This is it.
All right, then. Buds for Justice. All right. Hey, we're going to talk soon, man.
All right, brother.
All right.
Or sister, excuse me.
That's okay. I can be a brother and a sister.
Well, you got big woman balls. I know that.
Oh, thank you so very much.
All right, dear. I'll see you.
All right. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Guys, you want to talk about a great show? I don't know, but I can't wait to get off the air, and when I share this on Facebook and some other places, it's going to get shared. It was a lot of great information put out there, and you need to know about who you're dealing with here in the community. So it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to say. But Buds for Justice, you know for a fact it's going to be a lot of people participating in that, and we're definitely going to be sharing that so everybody can participate in that as well. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and put that last public service announcements out there real quick, and we're going to end this up for you, okay? We'll be right back. You're in tune to 710 Radio, iHeartRadio, Rosemary's World of Cannabis.
Are you feeling like a shadow of yourself? Is your mood on its way down? You could be suffering from low THC, also known as cannabinoid deficiency, caused by 77 years of government interference via prohibition. Do you live in a medical cannabis state or the District of Columbia? Are you over the age of 18 and seeking non-toxic natural health, well-being, and peace of mind? Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. After 10,000 years of recorded human use and 77 years of failed prohibition on the world's most extensively tested plant, the results are in. Cannabis has no known lethal dose and is arguably the safest and most comprehensive therapeutic substance known to man. Cannabis remained in the United States pharmacopoeia until 1941, and cannabinoids are currently patented by the federal government as an anti-inflammatory U.S. patent 6630507. Human brains have cannabinoid receptors. Cannabinoids are lubricants in the human body. Due to prohibition, our bodies have been denied essential lubrication. Imagine never changing or adding to the oil in your car. The use of cannabis for low THC may cause immediate relief, including a general feeling of well-being, chronic smiling or laughing, feelings of euphoria, increased creativity or clarity, a greater appreciation for music and art, the desire to dance, increased feelings of inspiration, compassion or unity, a need for truth and justice, or you may wake feeling more well-rested than usual. It's undetermined to know exactly how.
You know what? Right now, this would be your spot if you was with us here on 710 Radio. For more information, contact 710 Radio or Miss Green Jeans on Facebook or Rosemary's World of Cannabis, or better yet, contact me, Rosemary, on my page, or contact Rick Rainwhite. Anyway, you can have this spot. This is a 20-second spot going on 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. You can have this spot if you want it. And once again, we're back. We're about time to wind it up. That's all, y'all. Hey, we had a great show. We had a great season. We can't wait to come back to season 2 of Rosemary's World of Cannabis. That's right, we're coming back for round 2. We're going to be bigger and better than ever. We're going to bring you more about cannabis than you ever heard and seen before. We're only at the start. Dan the Man going to help us and a few others too. Hey, Coach, put me in. We're getting ready for football season. Hey, guess what, guys? If you don't know, the 21st and 22nd of July, I will be in Atlanta, GA. More information, check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under Miss Green Jeans. We're out, guys. Peace.